This is the Goalie Kid. It's a fictional hockey podcast about an 18-year-old goalie trying to find his way in life. Along the way, him and his friends learn about entrepreneurship, work, and what they want out of life. This podcast is narrated by Adam Rothstein and edited by Adam Rothstein. Chapter 1. It was the Colorado State High School Championship game. The Bork Academy Bears were playing the Aurora Valley Red Tails. Whoever won this would take home the trophy. Benny Jensen, the star goalie of the Bork Academy Bears, was keeping the game tied at 0. There were less than 5 minutes left to play in regulation. The Red Tails centerman got a breakaway chance. The centerman deked left, then right, and took a shot. Benny blocked his shot with the left pad. There were 2 minutes left in regulation. The left defenseman of the Red Tails took a slap shot, but Benny made the save. The coach of the Red Tails then called timeout to set up one last play. "You guys are doing great. Don't think for a minute you're not. The Red Tails are the ones getting desperate. They don't know how to go the distance like you guys," said Coach Smith. Coach Smith was the Bork Academy hockey coach for 10 years. He had won several championships before this and was more than confident that he would win this game. "All right, guys. You know the drill. A traditional breakout play, get that puck on the glass, and then take your time. Make these suckers work. Got it?" "Yes, sir," shouted the Bears. Benny's friend Johnny then turned to him and put his hand on his shoulder. "Stand strong, Benny," said Johnny Glover. Johnny Glover was his best friend. The two of them knew each other for most of their lives. Both of them got on a full-ride scholarship to the academy and were the stars of the team. The ref blew the whistle and they lined up for the face-off inside the Bears zone. The Bears won the face-off and broke out of the zone. Once they were in the Red Tails zone, they took their time to set up. Once they were set up, they got 2 shots off, but both were blocked by the Red Tails goaltender. The period ended with the score still tied at 0. Both teams went back to their locker rooms. Coach Smith settled his team down and began to draw up some plays. "Okay, guys, we're going to win this now. Glover, you are the commander for the first play. Just win the face-off, transition, take it up the ice, and then set your office up in the left corner. From there, get it to the defenseman on either the right side or left side for a shot. Second line, do the same thing. Now I want short shifts. These punks have got to go. Wear them down." The team cheered and then left the locker room. The horn sounded and both teams got back out onto the ice. The Red Tails were mentally and physically exhausted. The Bears saw this and wasted no time exposing this. The Red Tails started overtime by dumping the puck into the Bears zone. Benny then set up the puck behind the net and left it for Johnny. After they broke out, Johnny went coast to coast and scored the winning goal. Johnny went right through the defense. Like a play out of a video game, he cut right through the defense, like a knife cutting through butter. The crowd erupted and cheered. Benny and the rest of the team skated to center ice and celebrated. "We did it, man," Johnny said, hugging Benny. The rest of the team and Coach Smith joined in the celebration. They patted each other, hugged, and awaited the ceremony. The Red Tails and the Bears then lined up at center ice and shook hands. The Red Tails stayed on the ice to watch the trophy ceremony. Crew members came over and rolled out the red carpet to center ice. The commissioner of the league then walked to center ice with the microphone already in place. "Ladies and gentlemen, tonight we saw two fierce teams battle for the state championship," said the commissioner. "Both of these teams have earned their place to be here, but only one team can take home the championship. It is my honor to award the Bork Academy Bears with the Colorado High School State Championship trophy. Congratulations." Johnny then lifted the trophy effortlessly over his head. The trophy was then held by every other teammate. Coach Smith then took the trophy for safekeeping. Benny received the MVP award for the year. As good as Benny was, he had never received the MVP award. Before this, the MVP award was claimed by either a defenseman, winger, or centerman. He was the first goalie in years to win the MVP award. Back in the locker room, the team celebrated and went nuts. Once the team got dressed, they went to Tom's Steakhouse to celebrate. Benny, Johnny, and his two other friends, Phil and Pat, drove off with Benny's father. Phil and Pat were 1 year younger than Johnny and Benny. They were juniors, but they were still in some classes with each other. "What a game," said Phil. "Yeah, you said it, buddy," said Pat. "I wasn't sure that I would be able to keep it up," said Benny. "You guys are exaggerating," exclaimed Johnny. "We defeated them like it was nothing." Mr. Jensen interjected. "Listen, boys. You four performed admirably. That was perhaps the best performance I have ever seen out of you guys." "Thanks, Dad." "So, do you think you'll play in minor league hockey next year?" asked Johnny. "You know, I'm leaning that way. But I may want to take up an offer from Aurora University." "Did you get a full ride?" asked Pat. "Well, I did, but it's just tuition. But if I take it, I still have to find a way to pay for room and board." "You'll find a way to do that," Pat reassured him. "Yes, but how am I supposed to play hockey, do a job, and go to class?" "You can do it. After all, you're the guy that is so clutch." "I know, Pat." Once they got to the steakhouse, they met up with the rest of the team. The host seated them right away, as they had reservations. As soon as they went to their seats, they saw Coach Smith and the rest of the team and sat down. "Okay, gentlemen, I'm buying everyone an appetizer. Whatever appetizer you want, I got you covered." "Thanks, Coach," Benny said enthusiastically. Most of the team and most of the parents took him up on his offer. Some parents wanted to pay for their own meals out of respect for Coach Smith. Before the main courses came, Coach Smith made an announcement. "Ladies and gentlemen, thank you. Thank you for your time here at Bork Academy, and thank you, team, for playing your hearts out tonight. You guys have truly earned this championship." Everyone clapped and cheered for Coach Smith. A few minutes later, the main courses came and everyone began to eat their meals. Benny had ordered his favorites, a 16-ounce sirloin with shoestring fries and broccoli. Johnny got a ribeye with mashed potatoes and green beans. Everyone else was having something similar. "How's the steak, Benny?" asked Johnny. Excellent, but not as excellent as our victory tonight. Ha ha ha! That's a good one, said Johnny. Coach Smith then tapped on his water glass. Ladies and gentlemen, I have one more announcement. Championships are not easy to achieve. Our opponents came up short. Life doesn't turn out how you expect. There will be twists and turns that you will need to overcome. You may have it easier than most in some circumstances. You may also have it more difficult than others at certain times. But you always have to find a way to overcome those tough situations so that you can get to a better place. Nearly 20 minutes later, Coach Smith and everyone else had paid their bills and left. After dinner, Benny, Johnny, Phil, and Pat walked around town and decided to go rock climbing at Jason's sporting goods store. Jason's sporting goods store was only a statewide store located in Colorado. I can't believe I'm doing this. Doing what? Asked Johnny. Going rock climbing after a championship win. It just feels weird. Hey man, we're rested and we just fueled up from the steakhouse. Let's live a little, while we're still teenagers. Okay then, let's do it. The four of them put on their equipment and tied themselves in. They walked to the wall and began to slowly climb up. You're not beating me today, Benny boy. We'll just see about that, Johnny. The two of them began to race and leave Pat and Phil behind. Come on, guys, wait up, said Phil. Why don't you move it? Said Johnny. I'm trying. All four of them eventually got to the top. The spotters then brought them down. After their time on the wall, they then took a walk around the block to the local diner. When they got to the diner, they went up to the bar and ordered milkshakes. What will it be, boys? Asked the waiter. A chocolate for me, said Benny. I'll be daring and have a strawberry, said Johnny. I'll take cookies and cream, said Pat. And I'll have plain vanilla, said Phil. As the four of them waited for their milkshakes, they began to talk about the future and hockey. So, tryouts are coming up for the Boulder Bulldogs. Do you want in? Asked Phil. Well, Phil, I may have the chance to make $80,000 a year. And for an 18-year-old, that's insane. I would love that salary, so yeah, I'm most likely going to try out. I also may try out for the Durango Hornets. You'll make the league with either team, but haven't the Hornets struggled? Thanks, Pat. That is true that they had their struggles in the past, but it will be my best chance of making the league. Phil then interjected. What if this doesn't work out? What do you mean, Phil? I mean, what are you going to do if anything happens to you or the league? Many athletes have suffered this problem. Don't be afraid to learn new skills. You're good at school. I'm not saying you need to go to college, but skills matter. Learn some new skills. I understand. Mr. Johnson has a hardware store, and even though it doesn't seem like much, he has one of the most important skills anyone could have. And what's that, Phil? Asked Benny. Being able to control the source of your income. Being able to sell and create a business. Thanks, Phil. I get it. After all, you were the one flipping sodas at lunch break during the early days of high school, said Benny, laughing slightly. Yeah. Just consider what I said. The four of them would finish up their milkshakes, pay their bills, and head out. Each of them would take it easy over the weekend. The four of them would see each other on Monday, back at the academy. Hey, this is Adam Rothstein. Thank you for listening to the first episode of The Goalie Kid. If you would like early access to this podcast before anyone else, please consider subscribing for $5 a month. The link for this is in the show notes, or if you're watching on a video platform, the link is in the description. Thank you for listening to this first episode of The Goalie Kid. Please be sure to rate this podcast and leave a little review on your favorite podcast app. Also, please be sure to share this with a friend. Thank you very much and have a wonderful day.